All right, I'm live. Okay, now let's share this. Copy, paste. I'm alive. All right, let's do it here. Paste and post. All right, I think I've posted it everywhere I need to post it to. Okay, I think. Well, let's see. Twitter. Log in and tweet. All right, I think that pretty much covers it. Okay. Hello, how are you? It is Monday evening and it's right at almost 9 o'clock here. But I had Victor today, so for quite a while. And then I took him home and visited with my daughter. Hello. How are y'all? So the weather is changing. Hey, the weather is getting cooler. Today's high was 72 and the low's 41. It's kind of been cloudy a little bit. Last couple of days here, we had some rain. So I've been changing a few things. I'm back to doing my sort of creative bullet journal, Omni journal, DIY Hobonichi, and my real Hobonichi. I'm like doing all kinds of things because I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for next year. And I received this book. Somebody, don't know who, because they didn't put a name, sent me this in Happy Mail from Amazon. And I read it. Yesterday was really yucky, and I had some video stuff, but I have been on and off the last week, like just worn out, just really tired. And so yesterday I read. I did some editing, I did some video editing, and I went through and read this whole book yesterday. Now I'm going to go back through the book and take some notes and highlight. But I am one of those people that kind of need to read for content first. And I'm going to tell you a few things about why I really like the book and how it's kind of changed how I look at bullet journaling. And I highly recommend it. So I wrote down some notes because otherwise my ADHD brain will not keep up. Let me switch this to live chat instead of top chat so I don't miss anything. Okay. I think if you're a beginner, before you read the book, you should probably go to Ryder Carroll's website, the Bullet Journal. I think it's bulletjournal.com, and watch his videos. He has some pretty short videos. They're very to the point. And he is a minimalist when it comes to bullet journaling. So it's really easy to understand when he shows you and then you read the book. There's so much more detail in this book, though. But I do highly suggest that you watch his videos and read some of his beginner stuff on the website and then start reading the book, because the book has a lot of wonderful content in it. But before I go into that, I'm going to tell you that the voice, his writing voice in here is very personal, personable. He's humorous, and I found myself nodding and laughing and shaking my head and going, yep, that's me, all right, yep. Because the first few times I tried bullet journaling, I just couldn't. I mean, I've been making lists for a long time, but the log and the future log and I was like, this tracking shit, I still don't get tracking, really, but I'm trying to get better at it because there are some things I really need to be better at. And the only way I'm going to get better at it is if I track things like my time. So some of it made a lot of sense to me. I enjoyed the book because the information in it was real. He was real about things, and he talks about things like form versus function versus form. He talks about Hello. He talks about, do things make sense when you're doing them? Will your future self find this information valuable? Will your future self even understand what you're talking about? Like for certain collections, and or he also talks about, will this end up in the junk drawer? We all have that. Well, a lot of us do have that junk drawer, the one that you toss whatever into. And then when you're looking for something, you're like, oh God, I put it in there. And then you're pulling everything out of the junk drawer. Sometimes our bullet journals kind of end up like that with some of these things that we're doing. He also talks about progress versus perfection. He talks about the purpose of things. He talks about how if you need function, but you need to be creative and it's useful for you, if you then by all means. But he said, if you don't just do the pretty stuff because everybody else is doing the pretty stuff if it's not useful for you, if it doesn't work for you. He has a lot of really good stuff about going back and reviewing things and how to do that. And he talks about goal settings, and he actually gives these really great examples in here. And we're talking like really minimalistic. I like the introduction and I like the personal stuff. He talks about how things work for him, and how when he first started trying to explain it to people, he ended up breaking it down to the bare bones, so that he could teach other people, because a lot of people were asking him, how do you do that? I like the little personal stories in it. He says, for most of us, being busy is code for being functionally overwhelmed. Oh, yeah. He talks about the mental inventory, and I didn't do any of the exercises in here except for I did like 3 of them. I didn't do all of them, but I did do some of them. And what I've started doing, because I'm going to cut this down so I can actually glue it in my thing, is I've been trying to figure out how I want to set up things for 2019. I work really good with a calendar. I have to have a calendar. And I like calendars everywhere with things on them, so that if I get distracted or I forget, hey, this is an automatic draft, or hey, there's a doctor's appointment, or hey, this is somebody's birthday, or I need to pick up Victor, or Victor's got something going on at his school, or something with my daughter or with David. I know, and I'm constantly reminded of it because my ADHD brain will forget. And how he talks about using this, the form of his function made sense to me. I can add art, or I can not add art. Some days I want to, some days I don't. So I thought, like today's page, this is today's page, and these are the notes from the book. And then, this is my to-do stuff. And I have a quote right here. And I'm trying to keep better track of my time. Now, today was a pretty good day for easy time tracking because I had Victor for the majority of the day part. And I changed my weekly setup so that I can write things down after. And then this is things that I know are pretty much need to get done. And they kind of repeat themselves every week. Like, I try to stay on a schedule. Doesn't always happen, but I try to. And I've gotten behind with a lot of things, and I've gotten off schedule with things. And I'm trying to get back into the swing of getting back into the routine, but I know I need to change the routine. So I've been changing up the routine, and this book couldn't have come at a better time. Hello. So I'm thinking I'm going to reread the book. I'm actually going to take notes. I'm actually going to highlight. I will be writing in the book, which I don't do. I never do in my fiction books, but I do write and highlight in my nonfiction books. I also read The Son of No One by Sherilyn Kenyon over the weekend. Oh, that was a good book. I love that series of books. I love Sherilyn Kenyon's books. So this weekend I spent time reading and outlining and cleaning the house and doing editing in bits and pieces. And it made me feel really good. One of the other things that I got, but it wasn't Happy Mail. I've been slowly but surely collecting draw everyday ordinary things like that, the draw everyday, sketch everyday kind of books. And I got this book, 50 Ways to Draw Your Beautiful Ordinary Life. I have had this one probably the longest. This is Art Before Breakfast by Danny Gregory. I recently, about a month or two ago, got Samantha Baker's Draw Your Day, and I love this book. I've had this one, which is Sketch Daily, for a good while too. And I also have this, the Everyday Sketching and Drawing. Hello. So I've got quite a few different kinds of books about sketching, drawing, art kind of stuff every day. This one, these are all the most, like, these are the most similar. This one from Flow is quite different. I'm going to do a review of this because when you take this off, this is actually going to go on my wall. But before I put it on my wall, I want to do the review. When you do this, let's make sure I don't have it upside down. How awesome is that? I'm hoping y'all aren't looking at this backwards, that it's not mirrored. How awesome is that? I am actually going to put this on my wall. I have a blank space over there, and I'm going to put this on my wall. I will see if I can find a poster frame to put it in, but I love this. I love this. I don't know that I'll be using the book the way that I think that they've intended for you to use it, because the way that they've intended is for you to draw the things on that page. And I don't think I'll be doing it. It has, like, this is an interactive thing. Like, they show you how to draw the house, and they have the stuff in there, and then they give you this for you to do. Make sure I'm in the right place here. Okay. All right. So then they give you the little empty house. I like the how to draw stuff, but I doubt very seriously if I do it in here. I'll probably do it in my journal. I really do. And then you get further back here. They have a thing about just start, and they have this. They have all these like interactive kind of things. This is your little book of drawings. And when you look here, you can kind of flip through and see they have, you could take that out of there. And then this is where you do step by step. This is drawing on different colored paper. Okay. And then back here, they've got Dress Me Up. And you can actually draw and do them, make them dress them up. You can take them out of there, and they actually teach you how to do that. They have a how to do like mittens, and then you get to back here, and this is do it yourself. Whoa, this book is kind of heavy, y'all. You do it yourself postcards, which I think are really cute, and then back here, they have a watercolor section, a how-to watercolor. Let's get to one where here we go. Watercolor tutorial stuff. And they also, back here, they have watercolor paper in here. They have a lot of really great stuff in here, but I'm not going to do it. I may take the postcards out of it, take the little dress. I used to do these when I was little. When I was a kid, I used to have the paper ones where I did that. And the watercolor, I use the colored paper. I'll use the colored paper that's in there. I'll take that stuff out, and the little draw, I might take this out of there, that kind of stuff. I might take the stuff out of there. I would want my drawings in my notebook as well. Yeah, I would do it in my journal or on separate piece of paper and then put it in my journal. There's even some tracing paper in here, y'all. There's even, I'd have to find it, but there's even some tracing paper, which I've never used. I've never used tracing paper. I draw my stuff. Even when even if I look at clip art, I look at the clip art and then I draw it. I've never used tracing paper, but there are some things that might be cool to use tracing paper for. Because I'm not trying to sell any of my work. The only thing I might actually think about doing, something I've been thinking about doing, I'm going to keep running it by Patreon until I get things right, because I'm hoping that I can do this next year, is doing like a journaling 101 kind of course where it'd be like 5 videos, anywhere from like 15 to maybe 30 minutes. And it'd be like, I don't know, $25 for the course. And it would be for beginners, you know, journaling 101. Because I do a lot of different kinds of journaling. And I would like to do like the introduction video about what journaling is and how it's helped me and why it's important. And then maybe one for supplies and how you can use them. Basic supplies. Because I don't even have distress stains, really. I have that 3 little dauber things. But I don't have any of the sprays, so we're talking basic markers, watercolors, Crayola Super Tips, some Tombows, nothing fancy. But how to do everyday basic, illustrate your day, document your day, because to me they're different. Documenting your day is where you add pictures and ephemera. I do both, and sometimes I do a comment this book. Really do. I think, I mean, it's got some beautiful, let's find one where, so they even show you like your garden and plants, and they show you how to, let's get to where, there we go. So I really like the book. But I'm going to actually do a flip through of this, and I'm going to, I did a flip through of this book on Patreon. But yeah, I've been trying to kind of gather, because I like doing a bunch of different kinds of things. So that's where I'm at. I don't really have a whole lot new, because I just now and in the end of this week, and then we'll be ordering my stuff for next year. And I want to start making my notebook for next year. You would love that. Have planners and do mixed media art, but you're not very good at documenting your day. See, to me, I started out with the documenting my day. If I were to look back at my oldest journals, I was documenting my day. I was doing prompts. I was in the very first Fobonichi group, and we were doing prompts. And then there ended up being 2 groups, and now there's, I think, just the 1 group again. But I did prompts. I did bits and pieces of paper. Okay, for example, let me see if I have a piece of paper. Okay. Because I know I have some somewhere. Okay. So when I went to the dentist a few months ago, and when I go back, I'll get something else. But when I went to the dentist, this will show you. I got this pamphlet at the dentist office, and there was a mouth with the bridge plate, because I've got to get a bridge. And I cut it out. I cut it out. I put it in my journal, and I called her Miss Tooth Star is what I called her. I drew this big tooth, gave her a face, gave her some arms, made her have little pants, bell-bottom pants, kind of out of washi tape. And so I drew stuff, and I pasted stuff in about that experience with a tooth, because I went to the dentist like 4 times and had quite a few, almost all of my bottom back teeth pulled out. I have this one tooth that's beside my eye tooth right there, because my back teeth on the bottom were my adult teeth a couple of them had cracked all the way down, and then there were some that were loose, and it's because of when I was young and I had braces. I had the kind of braces that go all the way around your teeth. They don't have that now. And I had headgear, and they pulled out 4 teeth, and they cut out my wisdom teeth. Okay, so I didn't have much room. And what happened is they took them out of the middle. So they take my teeth with the headgear and then the braces, and they push them forward. So the top of my teeth are like this. Okay, but when they put them together, they don't meet like this, like your teeth normally do. Say this is the roots, and they're like this. Instead, they're like this. So there's this gap. And what happens, because even though I floss and I brush my teeth and all that, that gap that's underneath the surface of my gums, plaque gets in there. And I ended up with some kind of fancy gum disease. It didn't really affect the top because I still have my top back teeth, but not my bottom. So they ended up, my adult teeth were coming loose like my grandson's. And I was going to lose them anyway. So they went ahead and pulled them, but I couldn't have them all pulled at one time. I had to go in spurts. And at first, I didn't know what was wrong, but my teeth were super sensitive. And so when I documented the day, this is before I was doing like the sketchy, like separate. I was doing all of it together. It was a pain. I still need to go. But it's going to cost about $900 or almost that to get the bridge, because I have to do this on both sides. And I was waiting for my gums to not be swollen anymore. They're finally fine. I could go do it now, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to wait until Christmas is over, and then I'll do it with our tax money. I'm going to get my new glasses, but I would rather spend the money. I can deal with this for now. I'd rather spend the money for Christmas and then save up some money and use some tax money and go, because that's even with our dental insurance, $900. That's even with the dental insurance. So right now we're pricing to see if I can go to this other dental place, which is about an hour from us, but it's a little bit less expensive, and see if I can go there. So, but I mean, it's not major. You know what I mean? I'd rather have my grandson have a really good Christmas, and I can wait. I just chew on this side because this is where I have more bottom teeth. And then, but like I said, for months, I couldn't have gone and done anything with it anyway, because my gums were still swollen. And my mom made that mistake many, many, many moons ago. She had a bridge done, and the bridge, after her gums weren't swollen anymore, the bridge didn't fit right, because then, and I'm not, so this gives me some extra time for my gums to heal. Although, to be honest, they're pretty much healed. But anyway, document your day. So when I documented that day, I can't remember exactly, but I know when I went to the hospital and had my hysterectomy, I drew the nurse with this big needle. And I put a quote over there because her and the doctor both said when I went to have the pre-stuff before you have surgery and they have to check everything, like the biopsy done, they're like, it's just going to pinch. It's not going to hurt. It'll just pinch. They lied. That hurt like a son of a, ooh, that hurt. And I drew the nurse with the big needle, and I put a big quote, and then I think when I actually had the surgery, I did the little armband and I drew some stuff and, different, like a little picture of the hospital that came on a pamphlet or something. But I mix things up. Let's see. I don't know that I think everything's in the bag right now. But I save bits in here. Let's look in here. So when I signed up for AARP, last year I turned 50, but I didn't sign up. This year, when I was turning 51, they sent me some stuff, and I signed up, and I tore the thing from the envelope and put it in my journal because I still don't feel like I'm old enough to be signed up for AARP. Those are some things I need to put for this week. Those are some stencils. They actually go right here. So this came with something or another that I got, and I saved it to use. I want to use this in the spring whenever I get like spring fever. That's tissue paper. David was getting a bunch of these when he would go to weigh stations and stuff. They were attached to his paperwork. And I've kept a bunch of these. And sometimes I put them when he works like extra hours or like has a really rough day or, you know. This was something from the aquarium. This was when I was doing some watercolor stuff and I kept putting the brush on there. And I saved bits and pieces from all different kinds of things. This came from my magazine page and I liked the way that it looked. So I will probably one day when I like do a bunch of filming, I'll use this on a day. Or when David and I go to see a movie. If this is something from a magazine. And we have this, and then there are quotes, and I don't know, I may or may not, like I may end up using the quotes in there. I may end up using part of the picture in here. And I don't get a lot of magazines. So when I see something I really like, though, this came from one of those things that they send you in the mail. They want you to subscribe or buy stuff from them. And I like some of the stuff that was on there. As you can tell, I've already used a portion of it. And this came in the mail. They wanted me to sign up for Grays again. And I'm not a pumpkin spice fan, but I like pumpkin pie. And like, here's a bag that something came in, and so I used a piece of it. I mean, I do, you know, this is my junk bowl right here. This has that kind of stuff in it. I put bits and pieces of stuff that I might use in the bowl. And I go through it like once or twice a month and just look at what I've got in there. And if it's something that I want, like I just found something that is a Halloween thing. So I just stuck the Halloween stuff over here to the side because I'm going to be decorating Halloween. I don't know if David's going to go, but I'm going to be going with my daughter and my grandson trick-or-treating. I'm going to dress up as a gypsy fortune teller. And I've got to make my crystal ball. Victor's going to be Dracula. He's going to dress up as a vampire. And I'm not sure what my daughter's going to dress up as. But, and if David goes, David may dress up a little bit. But, yeah, so I'll take pictures and I'll use some ephemera. Like I'll draw something from that day in my journal. And then I'll also... Okay, so for example, we had Chinese food the other night. We had sesame chicken and house lo mein, and those are our fortune cookies. Now, I did that here, but the last time we had it, I did it a bit different. This is when we had it, and we had pepper steak. And I used part of the menu. I'm doing fine. I don't know who you are, but okay. Yeah, not doing the trolls today. Okay, so yeah, but most of the time I was doing all different kinds of that in here, but I have since been kind of relegating the documenting my day more to here, where I put the pictures and bits of ephemera and stuff like that, because like there, I watched a documentary, I went grocery shopping, had a headache, and part of the reason I had a really bad headache is because I was dehydrated. This was documenting my day, but it was just basic stuff. And then this was documenting, and I think going to end up adding a tip in right here. So yeah, not, I don't know. I think I've been kind of figuring things out, Where did the live chat go? There we go. I know we get better with practice, but you're always so frustrated that your drawings don't come out like you picture. How did you get past that? I used to draw all in elementary school, middle school, and high school. I took as many art classes in high school as I could. And then for years, we're talking, I don't know, 30 years, I didn't draw hardly ever. I would color in coloring books with my kids, and every now and again, like, we got like a log cabin syrup, and my daughter is an artist, and my daughter actually got a partial scholarship to SCAD, to Savannah's art design college, but she didn't end up going. So my daughter was always drawing, and every now and again when they were little, they'd ask me to do something, and Maria was like, my daughter would ask, and every now and again I would do a little something. Like I drew the log cabin that was on the log cabin syrup bottle. I'm much better at drawing something I can see and look at than drawing from memory. When I drew the sesame chicken, I drew it from memory. When I drew the beef pepper steak, I actually drew it from the picture that was on the menu. If I'm looking at a picture or something in a book or clip art or something like that, I am much better at drawing that way. I find it easier to draw from a picture sometimes, certain things like buildings, than real life. It's easier for me to do perspective from a picture. And I think that's because the picture is 2D, whereas real life is 3D. But I find myself drawing other things better from real life. I think it's just the buildings I have trouble with, real life, and people. I'm still not very good with faces. I'm getting better, but I think one of the things somebody told me, if you really want to get better at drawing stuff, because I've always loved drawing like cartoony kind of figures and stuff like that. Like I like the illustrated look, like the look of things in kids' books when I'm reading books to Victor, and they have the pictures in them. I love those pictures because they capture the essence of things without it being where it looks so perfect it looks like a picture, but it does capture the essence of it. So that's the kind of look I like, is the illustrated look. Like whenever I did my lemon and I was doing hot tea, because I think I didn't. I mean, that lemon doesn't look like a real life lemon, but it looks like a lemon. It looks enough real to look, you know that it's a lemon. But I didn't dimple this skin and go through and put like all this super detail in it, because that's I mean, I do it on occasion, you know, I do it on occasion, but I don't do it all the time. I've done a typewriter like that. Like Victor and I watched the Flintstone movie, you know. Now I could have went into more detail. I have done things where I've done more detail. Like to me, this was fun, you know, but it doesn't look like a picture. Like you can tell that it's artwork and it doesn't look like a picture. I've seen artwork, watercolor, acrylics, oil, where you can't tell. It looks more like a picture than say watercolor. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to make my artwork look like a picture. If I want a picture, I'll take a picture. I'm just trying to capture the essence of things. That's what I enjoy. And once you get past that, hey, my drawing has to be perfect, because for a while I wanted to do perfect. I wanted my picture to look like real life. And I was having a really hard time because the OCD and the perfectionism was kicking me in the butt. And I had been out of practice for so long, and then I kept thinking, well, maybe I need to take a class. But I watched a video, and I don't remember who it was now, and they were doing their artwork, and they were talking about capturing the essence of it. And then I started watching Sketchbook School's videos, Danny Gregory's videos, and I started reading his books, and I started looking through the different books that Danny Gregory has. And I was like, you know, my art doesn't have to be perfect. If it captures the essence of what I'm trying to draw, okay. So for example, we'll do it on a piece of paper. All right, here's a piece of Tomoe River paper. A wonderful friend of mine sent me this. And I love this. I love this. It's one of my pencil boards. So I could draw the essence of the coffee cup. Sorry you can't see me doing this, because I just found out through my internet provider that I can move my internet up to a faster download and upload speed, which I will be doing. But for now, I'm going to go talk to them the end of this week when I go to pay the bill. And I'm going to go ahead and order that so we can, I just got a new router, so my internet's actually being a little bit better. So I draw and I'm not drawing I'm not going to draw the little ribbon and stuff. We're just going to, okay. So I just drew the essence of the coffee cup. Now I can draw the rest of the stuff that's on there if I want to, but if I'm putting something in my journal, sometimes, like if I were to go to Starbucks and I got this, I could spend all this time drawing that Medusa looking face that's on the thing. Or what I probably do most of the time is just draw that circle and watercolor that green. Sometimes I'll put Starbucks this way. Sometimes I'll put Starbucks that way. I'll color that cardboard color, you know. But I mean, if I'm capturing the essence of it, this is not perfect by any means. It's actually lopsided. The top of it's lopsided. My circle isn't right. You can see it's not an exact replica of it. I didn't trace it. I mean, I could trace it. Tracing is actually a really good way to learn how to make the circles and the lines and stuff like that. That's what I hear, is that tracing is a really good way to do that. But I started out looking at clip art and looking at kids books and how to draw how to draw for kids books, to learn how to draw lines. And when you sketch something like this, where if your line isn't perfect, if I wanted to fix that line, I could go back in, draw a few more lines over it, go back, fix it a little so it's not so lopsided looking. Do this. And then I fixed it some. And when I watercolor over that, it's gonna just look like I meant to do that. You know, I mean, well, other than this part. And the more I play around with that, and the more I add a little bit of lines to it, where it would be like the shadows and stuff like that. Right, exactly, Susan. It might not be an exact replica, and it might be kind of wonky, but it's the essence of. And I'm not documenting my day in my journal or illustrating my day in my journal for it to be in an art museum. I just want to look back on it 5 years from now, and when David and I, or Victor and I, and we sat down at Starbucks, and Victor had his hot cocoa and I had my white chocolate mocha, and I draw his little hot cocoa with the marshmallows in it or the whipped cream on it, and I know that was a good day. We had a good time. It's not going on a wall in an art museum. And if anybody's looking at my work and they're going to be super critical of it, then they don't need to be looking at my journal anyway, which is why one of the drawbacks when you show stuff on social media is that you do have the critics out there. But I don't care anymore. I enjoy it. It relaxes me. And when I was first doing it, first showing flip throughs and stuff on social media, my artwork was not as detailed sometimes as it is now. Like, sometimes it was super detailed, and if I took the time and did it, then it was good. But if not, then I was just having fun. Like sometimes my Snoopy's come out really good, and then sometimes his nose comes out kind of wonky. Sometimes I draw better than others. The more relaxed I am, the better it is. I think it's your choice of the details to add to make it so good. Yeah. Where do I really want to add the details? That's the question. Where do you want to add the details? Because you can draw something really simple and make it detailed, or you can draw something really detailed and make it simple. It's all really up to you, For example, this will be a good example. Okay, this will be a good example. This is the typewriter in my bullet journal for November, because it's NaNoWriMo coming. So this I did. It's detailed, but it's not accurate. It's not accurate. I just had fun. I put keys down. I had fun. Up here, this is kind of wonky, but it's okay. I don't care. I even put chapter 1 up there, and it's okay. When I did this one, however, that one looks actually much more real. So, I mean, sometimes I do get into detail. Sometimes, but I used the washi tape, and I drew that from the washi tape. the typewriter washi tape that I got. So it's all about, like, I don't know. It's all about having fun. You know? When I did this is this week. This is my layout for this week. I did the Snoopy Dracula again, and I did it from last year's Inktober, and I did it because Victor's dressing up as Dracula, and I love Snoopy, and I did the pumpkin, and, you know, I had some fun. I even put the RIP, like, you can't see the RIP because it's behind his hand, but I had, like, I made some things detailed and some things not. He's even got a little drip of blood, you know. But really, it's about what, well, like, you like my typewriters? Well, this one, not so much. My Snoopy's a little wonky. My typewriter's a little wonky. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care. They're fun. You know, they're fun. I did a typewriter a long time ago, quite a few years ago, in black and white, with just ink. And then a little bit of gray watercolor, and it's probably one of the best ones I've done. It's probably the most detailed, but it's in a, I'd have to find that notebook. And that's probably the best one I've ever done. I was recuperating from my hysterectomy, and I was pretty much bed or couch bound. So I couldn't sit upright too much with the typewriter. I mean, with the laptop to actually write. I couldn't do that. I could handwrite. So I did some handwriting on my novel. I did drawing. I did a lot of drawing, and that's when I got better. It's because I was healing, recuperating. Hello. So, you know, journaling is all about what you like. I mean, I know people who don't draw at all in their journals, and they paste clip art, or they use stickers, or they use stamps and color in the stamps. You know, it's all about, you know, our own personal preference. So, has anybody got any questions, though? I've kind of been on here for almost an hour. So what are y'all doing for 2019 for your planners, your journals, that kind of thing? What are y'all doing? Because like I said, I think I'm making... It's the only thing about being on here. Okay. It's hard to tell who is and who isn't a troll until they get, like, really bad. You're going to be trying the Hobonichi Weeks in the banana color. You know, I've tried the Hobonichi Weeks. This is the second year I've tried it, and I just cannot. For when it's so tiny, I write too big. I tried converting it, using it for all different kinds of purposes, self-care, health and fitness, an everyday carry, planning for work. You also think about getting a Chic Sparrow leather cover for it. I haven't tried Chic Sparrow yet. I really want to. But yeah, I'm going B6 for an everyday carry, like with a little bit of planner stuff in it. And then, and that will be more of my personal planning. And then I've got A5 for the everything planning. And then work and everything. And then, I'm going to do my journal in B6, but I'm doing Omni Journal, bullet journal, creative bullet journal, a little bit of, stuff in the A5. I'm still debating over a couple of things. I like the Chic Sparrow that I love the most, I think, is that dark red. It's not a red, it's a dark red. And it has the ink splashes on it. Would love, love, love to have that in an A5. Would love to have it with the pockets on the inside. I can't remember what that one's called. I also like that teal colored, the turquoise colored one with the ink spots on it. A5, B6, either one, but I want pockets on the inside. And yeah. But I like the purple. I like Carrie Harling's color too, with ink spots, either or. Purple, teal, or red. Yeah, purple, teal, or red with the ink splash stuff on it. But I haven't tried Chic Sparrow yet. I think if I get some extra money, that's what I'm going to do. I just don't know which. I don't know. I don't know. You have the teal one and you love it? See, I thought about the teal because I have this really beautiful mermaid trifold by Janelle, a Janelle fish, and it's gorgeous. But I don't have anything that really kind of goes with it. And if I got the teal color Chic Sparrow, I would have like, I have purple stuff for my spiritual stuff, and then I have the red, anything like the different reds and the different things with red in it for the journaling and the planning. But I could actually kind of switch things up some if I did teal. Like if I did the B6 teal, then that would be like perfect, because then I could switch things up like we do with our purses. I know that my husband would be like, you don't need that. You don't need that. So I guess I'm gonna have to do something. I'm gonna have to put this. I'm gonna put this in my journal. I haven't had Starbucks, but my daughter did make me coffee today. When I dropped off Victor, I went in and talked to her for a while, and I helped her. We did Victor's homework with him together. I gave him a bath here. It's a nice structured leather, not too floppy. See, I like a little bit of floppy, but I need a little bit of structure. I don't want them too thick and heavy. I also want to try the Sojourner. I really want a folio by Rowena, a Sojourner folio. Really, really, really want one. I want the Enoch, the black leather with like the red pocket. Yeah. If I could, I would do black leather everything. With little bits of red leather accessories. You switch TNs for the seasons. That's what I've been thinking, you know, because I primarily use A5 and B6 and a little bit of A6. And I've got some dark browns, which are good because I really do want to use like the dark browns some in the fall. But I would like to go with black and maybe for the winter. And then for the summer, I don't know. But for the summer and the spring, maybe do like the teal and the purple, or some of the ones that have like the red, you know, because this doesn't really matter season wise but I don't know. Yeah. But I can't afford to buy all the things that I want. So I don't know. But I do like her work. I really do like Chic Sparrow's work. I haven't tried Foxy Fix. I have tried the Leather Quill Shop. I've tried Imperfectly Perfect. I've tried Justine King's Leather, Buteo Bunker. I've got a whole Janelle fish. And then one other one, Christina something. It's the little owl looking thing. I put this one up because I'm about to make a journal to go in it specifically for this. Yeah, it looks like a little owl. I don't know if y'all can see it. But I like this. This because of the pockets, it has structure, but it's got a little floppy to it. So, and I like this because it's got the pin thing. So yeah. Now that we're going into like the colder weather, you switch up your A5 covers, but not your pocket. You're right about the cost. Foxy Fix is very soft, not structured. Oh, never mind. Then I won't be doing Foxy Fix because I don't like them when they're too soft. But I've gotten to the point where like I really want an A5 want an A5 and a B6 where they match but don't match. You know what I mean? Like not matchy. Match but don't match. Like if I got a folio from Sojourner and I did the black Enoch with the red pocket, then in the B6, then I wouldn't mind getting that red A5 with the ink splotches on it. Or if I did like the A5 and the Janellefish, the turquoise, the mermaid one, then I wouldn't mind doing the B6 turquoise with the ink splashes on it. You know what I mean? Like where they match, but they don't match. I do like some matchy stuff, but I don't like super matchy. So I don't mind if they're different brands or, you know, yeah, there's quite a few. There's a few other, like I haven't tried Lady Falcon yet, and I really want to. Hers too. Chic Sparrow, Lady Falcon, Johann, the Zencraft, I would really like to try. I even have one of those apple pig leather ones. It's like a A6 though. It's in that red rose. It's like I can't remember what it's called. It's like a muted burgundy color. But yeah. So we got quite a few people watching. Anybody have a favorite brand? A favorite traveler's notebook? A favorite, like, because for those of you who do like some structure, but do like a little bit of floppy and don't like anything really super heavy, that's the only thing about my Janellefish is they, especially in A5, they're a little heavy. Her leather is a bit thick. It's definitely more structured. So I want something. I want to. Trying to do the folio where I actually use my sketchbook where it's not super heavy, and that's why I chose to do a B6. The one I'm gonna make for the getting outside stuff. I don't want it to be super heavy, and I want to do B6, and I think that's the reason I want like I'm doing a folio. That way it's not so heavy, and it's just a notebook. It's just a B6 kind of DIY sketchbook. But it needs to be soft, not super heavy, and it needs to have a little bit of structure to it. So yeah, Foxy Fix is probably not something I'll ever try. It's nice when they coordinate, but are not exactly the same. Exactly. I do have a couple that are the same. Let's see. Okay, like for example, this A6 and this are the exact same. They're the Picos leather by Leather Quill Shop, and they're gorgeous. This is my turquoise Janellefish, my mermaid, and she actually put the galaxy stuff on the inside for me, and it's gorgeous, which is why I would like to do a B6 in the teal, I could actually do purple to go with if I wanted. But I think the teal would be really pretty. Or like a blue. But this is the one I want to use for spring. And then like this is my writer's Bible, which these were my custom colors by Janelle. And then this is my art one. And then I have a bifold B6 that's somewhere in here. I have to look for it. It's somewhere. I put it somewhere. Not quite sure where I put it now, but it might actually be in the living room. You don't have one. Someday, maybe. You only own Chick Sparrow. The Maverick leather is your favorite. I don't have a Chick Sparrow. So many mystic little gifts. But yeah, this one is probably this one I've had the longest, other than the Buteo Bunker I gave to Maya. My husband's is actually the one we've had the longest. And his is somewhere in one of my desk drawers. But I have an engraved typewriter. But yeah, I like matchy, but not matchy, you know? Like they are matchy, but not matchy. So that's why I was thinking the teal B6 would be great to kind of go with this. But that teal is more of a green color, and I want a teal that's more of a blue color. Unless I went with like a, you know. So, but you can see the lighting in here is not all that great because it's nighttime here, y'all. So that's, yeah. But eventually I will order a Chic Sparrow. And then, but Zencraft, Johan, I have seen some of his. He has this red and black cherry looking, it is so gorgeous. Great TN, similar to Chic Sparrow, but less expensive. Not the same variety of colors, but nice, natural looking colors. I'll have to look. But yeah, I'm probably not going to buy one. I just want the one for the spring. And right now I'm doing brown and red, or the Janelli fish that have the red and the blue in it. And then I've got all purple stuff for my spiritual stuff. So I wanted to do something a bit different, I think, for spring. I just kind of want to start changing up the A5, B6 stuff, because my writer's Bible is going to stay my writer's Bible. My spiritual stuff will probably stay the way that it is. So all I really want is like something to go with that mermaid. And then I want a whole set of black. A5, B6, and A6, I think, and black. That's a lot to ask for, huh? But yeah, I'm just a wish list. So, but I'm finally, I like dark brown has grown on me. I like dark brown, and I like some of the medium browns a lot, but I like unique stuff. So I like the traveler's notebooks that have the scars or the branding on it and stuff like that. Like it doesn't, I don't, you know, I'm cool with it looking more like Indiana Jones kind of had it. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. So yeah, that's about it, y'all. I've been on here for about 1 hour and 5 minutes now. So it's getting time for me to get going. I've got some outlining to do. I've got some journaling to do, some filming to do. I got a bunch of stuff to do because this week I have a bike without training wheels. He can kind of ride it if he's on the road, but not in the grass or anything. He's still kind of getting the hang of everything. So that wore me out, chasing him and pushing him, and oh my, yeah. My fibromyalgia was, which is probably why like I said, this whole all last week on and off, I was just utterly exhausted. I overdid it. So there are too many options out there, and it is really hard to choose. I have been looking in the buy sell trade group, and I have been thinking I will have a tiny bit of extra money the end of this week, like Thursday, and I'm going to start looking to see if anybody's got anything. I would rather buy something new to me where I don't have to spend as much money. If it's something that I'm not quite sure, I really like Justine King and the Leather Quill Shop. I really do like theirs. They have some great colors and some great traveler's notebooks. I have this, it's called Coral, but to me it looks more red than orange. B6, and it's got pockets and stuff, and I bought it new to me, and y'all, it is awesome. It is awesome. So I might look through her stuff and see if she's got like a turquoise, but I really really want to try a chic sparrow. So I've been looking. I like the Outlander leathers too. People have been showing them, and I'm not a real big green fan. Like, I only like certain shades of green, but I've seen some people with the Outlander ones that they're just gorgeous. The dark blue, the dark green. So I don't know, but I'm like in love with the ink splash thing. The writer and the artist in me is just like, yes. So I don't know. Well, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to see if anybody's got any questions before I go, because in like 2 minutes, it's going to be an hour and 10 minutes. And then I'm going to go, because I know there's like a tiny bit of lag. But yeah, I've also got a writer video I need to film and edit so I can get it uploaded, because we are slowly but surely getting very close to NaNoWriMo starting. You like the ink rings? Yeah. I like them too. I like coffee rings too, but I want a B6 in the brown, because I've got the A5 and the A6 with and then, oh, you're just hopping on to say hi? Well, you get just in time, because I'm about to get off. But I've got some writing stuff to plan. But yeah, I want a B6 in a brown, and then, like I said, I want the turquoise and I want the red, and maybe a purple. I don't know, but yeah, I'm just gonna see what I can find, y'all. Okay, y'all. Any questions? You got like 1 minute. I think I'm going to do a live video tomorrow instead of Wednesday, or I might do it Wednesday when we get home from trick-or-treating with Victor. I just don't really like doing the really late videos unless I film them and upload them, because all of the trolls. So if I do a Wednesday night video, because we are going to, Persephone and I were talking about doing that. That is Halloween, right? Yeah, Wednesday night is Halloween. NaNoWriMo is starting Wednesday night at midnight for me, which will be, I think, my midnight will be your 11 o'clock, Persephone. Is that right? Yeah, you were going to say that is much greener. Yeah. That's right. When my book sells a million copies, I can't buy it all. Right now, it's just a wish list, but it gives me like a goal. Like I can, I saved for 6 months before I ever bought my first traveler's notebook. I saved for 6 months. And then I save for the next one. So I don't buy them very often. And now that there are the buy sell trade groups, it makes it a little bit easier. But so many people sell them for the same thing that they paid for them or more, that I'm really careful about buying them on the buy sell trade groups too, because I'm not paying an arm and a leg for something somebody's already used when I can go on the website and buy it for the same price or less. So anyway, but I was thinking about doing a live video because of NaNoWriMo. Persephone, we will talk and see if you want to. And then I also need to finish doing a couple of other videos. I'm so behind, but it's okay because this past week and stuff, I did a lot of really good reflection and self-care and spent time with family and reading. I caught up on some reading. I read 2 books in one weekend. I kid you not. I read the Bullet Journal Method book and I read Sherilyn Kenyon's Son of No One. So I was impressed with myself. That's the first time in a while I've done that in a long while. All right, y'all. I'm 2 minutes over. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go do some of my stuff and I will see y'all later. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad y'all were here. It was fun. And for those of you in the replay, we've been talking about books and traveler's notebooks and NaNoWriMo and art and all kinds of good fun stuff. So bye, y'all.